Welcome everyone to our weekly Facebook live show, Life Buildup, where we discuss your success, fulfillment, and balance. I'm your host, Jawad. I had a tongue twister there real quick. Here with Hassan.
What's up, guys?
Guys, this week we're talking about business. Over the last couple of years, me and also Hassan here, we started some businesses of our own, and literally that just got started. But so we wanted to share some thoughts and some feelings about starting a business. So if you're joining us, this episode is not necessarily talking about a specific business strategy, but just giving our experiences and how we got started and so forth. So if you never started a business before, but you're thinking of getting started, this would be a good episode to watch. But if you already have a full-fledged business going, you can still benefit, but it won't be going into specific business strategies necessarily.
Yeah, for sure. We're not here selling any business strategies, anything like that.
Right.
This is more of us sharing with everyone our experience in getting started with something. We are very new in business world and entrepreneurship, but we just wanted to share. It doesn't matter what industry or what style of business you're getting into. Certain things that are just part of starting business. The emotional side of it, the tactic side of it, and how you get started. So welcome, guys. If you are joining us, it's beautiful that you can make us part of your life every Monday night. And we're honored and privileged, and we really enjoy this. And we're here together every week. No BS stories, straight to the point, as practical as possible. And today we're talking about, is business right for you? I think right now there is a big hype about business. I mean, everybody, mother, father, uncle, brother, sister, cousin is starting a business, and everyone is a damn entrepreneur, right? You talk to anyone, they say they're entrepreneur. And I was actually giving...
That's the cool thing now.
That's the cool thing.
Entrepreneurship and used to be, I think, a very, school used to be the cool thing.
Yeah.
Back then. But entrepreneurship became
I don't
the
know
cool
if
thing
school
now.
was ever cool.
No,
I like school, but
the idea of getting a going through the four-year bachelor's degree,
right,
and then getting a good job, that was very looked at in a very high pedestal.
Right.
But I think that kind of is getting replaced by entrepreneurship. Starting your own business and things like that.
And as soon as you say starting your own business, entrepreneurship, people automatically think you're rich or something.
Yeah.
That is not true. Most entrepreneurs are broke. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, and I said this at an event I was doing at a college. I told the young folks, listen, if somebody's saying they're entrepreneur in their business, and you see them rocking, nice car and talking about how great vacation they have, and
especially if somebody got started in business very recently,
right?
Let's say they just started 12 months ago,
right?
If they're living the life already,
big problem.
I think it's just for show,
I like to say either they got their pops money. Yeah. Right? Somebody got them started, and they just, someone very famous said, I got a generous loan of 15 million, right?
Yeah. Who said that?
No, small loan of 15 million.
Who said that?
Let's skip the person.
Okay.
So, or I like to say that they are, or they're in some scheme. You got some involved in one of these schemes. I remember few years ago, a few years ago, in my area, there was that whole multi-channel business scheme. Every once in a while, some group gets into it, and anybody gets hyped. Mm-hmm. So this marketing scheme, multi-channel scheme. Again, I'm not gonna say anything about the particular companies. But it's either a gimmick, mm-hmm, or look, most entrepreneurs are broke.
Yeah.
Go to WeWork building. WeWork, mm-hmm, if you don't know, WeWork is one of those shared office space buildings.
Right.
Go there. Most of these young people that are entrepreneurs, some of them from top universities, that after bachelor's they didn't want to do. They couldn't find jobs. That's what it was really. Mm-hmm. With the economy downfall in 2007, 2008, mm-hmm, a lot of people just didn't find good jobs.
Right.
And so they ended up innovating.
Mm-hmm.
That's why all this entrepreneurship started. And there always were entrepreneurs, always people who wanted to start their own thing, but it was a lot more in the last few years,
mm-hmm,
And I think you go online, you will find this whole thing, stop your 9 to 5, and what's wrong with 9 to 5?
That's how people are getting people attracted towards business. It's almost like the 9 to 5 thing is looked down upon.
It's a curse or something.
And look, have me I've been kind of getting into a little bit more than a year now, right?
Right.
I actually kind of understand why people do the 9 to 5.
That's true.
So when I first got started,
right,
I was very much like I never wanted to do 9 to 5 and things like that. Right. But I can now see like why people do 9 to 5. People much easier.
So he doesn't do 9 to 5, but I technically do 9 to 5.
You just got started.
Well, no, I also had kind of 9 to 5, but it was not. I'm not.
I mean, your most recent.
My recent job, but I'm not fully 5 days 9 to 5, but 4 days or so. But I'm almost 9 to 5 in some sense. But there's no problem in that. It's possible. When my businesses grow enough, I'm new in business. He's new in business. If our ventures or projects grow, possibly I'll. But there's no shame in 9 to 5. And that's what I want to say. As much as we'll talk about business, and I will talk about why we got started. And again, we're brand new, but we want to share with you. If you're thinking about it, you have been thinking about it, been putting it off for a while, this episode is for you. But I want to start off with the bat by telling you there's no shame in 9 to 5. Don't let anyone think you feel crap about 9 to 5. 9 to 5 people are running the world. They are making the world happen. Okay, so this is not about So
and look, I would say actually, is 9 to 5 is a lot easier than business.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll have a much more happier and relaxed life in 9 to 5 than you'll have in business.
Yeah.
I think business is for people like who are very ambitious.
Right.
Who.
But I don't want to say that people who are very ambitious, but I think people who, because they might say, I'm career oriented people, some are very ambitious, working hard, trying to get up the corporate ladder. Okay, good for you. That's good. I mean, there's nothing.
I think alongside ambitious, like you like to have control of
right. It's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah. So yeah, for sure. I mean, I think like to get the kind of the ball rolling.
Yeah.
What was the reason that you got started in business?
So for me, right out of college, I wanted to. For me, it was about being able to do something that I can control. It's about creating something of my own, and it's about that excitement of building something and making it work, and having people benefit from that, and you make utilize money, and so that was the more reason. I'll tell you this: people come to me and say, "Oh, I want to do business." I'm so what are you doing in college? Oh, I don't know. I'm in college, but I want to do business.
Right.
When someone comes to me and says that, what I tell them? This is again my experience. It's very limited experience. We are brand new in business, so take it with a grain of salt. But when someone says I want to do business, I tell them it's like you telling me I want to do a job. So what's your eventual goal with college? I don't know. I want to do a job.
Right.
Business and job is the same thing. It's about.
I guess what you're saying is like you have to be very specific.
Right.
What exactly you mean by like I want to go into business?
Right. See, business is one way of doing a field or a contribution.
Right.
So you could be in medicine. You could either do a job or do a business. You could be in my field, psychology.
So you could have a pharmacy.
Right.
Or you could work for a hospital.
Right. You could be in technology. You could work for a job, or you could create your own software and a company around it. Everything can be a job and a business. That's my point, I guess. That's something that we forget all the time.
Right.
That there's such thing as I want to do business. Business is not a thing. It's like saying job.
So, like going back to the question that I asked you, like why did you first get started in business?
Right.
So you said that you wanted to have control, you wanted to kind of build something and so forth. So did you do that around your career?
Yeah,
and like your profession.
So that's another big topic about what is passion and what is what is that calling in life. Because my personal belief is that your calling in life is not just one thing.
Right.
So we have one thing that's very strong, right? But you could have few calling in life, but not 10,000.
Right.
But you could have few calling in life.
What is few? Does that mean like 4 or 5?
No,
2, 3?
You cannot work in that many. It's actually, if you have one, that's great. You could really hammer on one end. But it's okay to have actually 2 or 3. It's okay. But
I think like again, like it goes back to like the ambition and like the hard work and things like that.
Yeah.
Like if you have interest into it,
right,
then you'll make the time for it.
That's true. True.
Versus exactly. Like if you have the interest for it, okay, you will work like that extra 5-6 hours in order to make it happen.
So my first business, which failed, actually, we'll talk about failing in a second. My first business, which I did for a year and a half, it failed. That business was somewhat around my because my field is psychology, right? Psychology, mental health.
What was the name of the business?
I rather not mention it here. But it's.
But you want to say like what the business was about and stuff like that?
Sure. I mean, it was online, online teaching.
Okay.
So it was a system where you have test prep and tutoring, all that stuff is done through online.
Okay.
So connecting top students with connecting top students at top colleges with high school students and middle school students. But anyways, that didn't work out. And that's but you know what? I'm happy I did it because I actually had 2 investors that they were kind enough to believe in me. Even though I was college age at that time, but I learned a lot. And if I would go back, I would do it again. It's not a problem.
What would you say were like some of the things that you learned from the experience, though?
One, you cannot force your passion. So it was not really, to be honest, in my passion. Like not directly what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I sort of forced it because I found a niche, and I was like, maybe I could twist it, turn it. That was one. Number 2, the team that you.
So would you say like you almost started the business because you saw an opportunity and saw that like, okay, this might be a good way to make money?
Yeah. It was more money focused.
Okay, so
I had this like this mindset of like, oh, business, money,
Right.
Like, and I'm telling you, most entrepreneurs are broke. Most entrepreneurs don't take vacation. Most entrepreneurs are living in their
I think like people who are like very successful,
right.
They have to do that, right?
Right, they do. And because I think most people, when they look at entrepreneurs, they're thinking like Forbes magazine. Those are like the elite. 8 out of 10 businesses fail. Like, you have better chance of succeeding in a career than you have in a business.
Yeah, for sure. I 100% agree.
And I know I'd be like, wait a minute, how come you guys are not being optimistic about this whole business topic, But there's a reason why, because we want to build up, we want to be honest first. We want to be upfront first.
I think, look, like, for people who are, in the 9-to-5 world,
right.
I wouldn't recommend being optimistic 100%.
Right.
Okay, I think you have to be realistic a little bit.
Right.
Because, if you are in that 9-to-5, grind,
right.
It might be better for you to stay in the 9-to-5 grind. And then starting.
It's not for everyone. Entrepreneurship, business is not for everyone, and that's our first point here, because. I think a lot of people look at the gimmick because I know what happens to you. You go 9 to 5, you get fed up. You're like, I'm working for someone. I can spend this time for doing something else. Look at me. I get tired. I come home. I watch TV, watch shows, and I go to sleep. My life is like 9 to 5, waiting for the weekend. I know for a lot of you, that's your life.
Yeah.
And you know what? I cannot get. You know what's going to happen? What I think you told me one time that you feel like you switched from your 9 to 5 to what was it? I forgot what you said.
I switched from 9 to 5 to 10 to 2.
10 to 2. Yeah.
So when I say 10 to 2, it was like 2 in the morning. So
he was working more.
It was insane.
And I think you are working more than people who are doing 9 to 5.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Yeah, and so he's not having a lifetime of his life. Honestly speaking, I mean, he's dedicating most of his time for business. I'm not. I'm half and half. But he's doing most of business.
I think like the guys, the things that happens is that when you first get started in business,
right.
Like you kind of like go from this very romantic idea of what a business is.
Yeah.
Like you get to travel the world, take amazing vacations.
People have this
you have all the
Facebook
money.
post, right?
No, you have all of that, right?
Right.
And then as you slowly get started, you get it like hits you in the face.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, you're like, holy crap! Like this is actually pretty difficult.
Right. It's
there's
very
so
hard
many
work.
things. Yeah.
It's very hard work.
Yeah.
And again, it's not for everyone. And if but you know what? There's some amazing things about business, and so I think you have to begin with the right mindset, right? It's about the right mindset. So so I would say for me, like I said, I got started, because I wanted to be able to create more money. I wanted to create a system.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And you have to really fall in love with the grind, fall in love with the idea.
That's why I think like what you mentioned in the beginning of the show, that even your own thing, right? Like you kind of got into it because of the money,
right?
And that's why I think part of the reason you kind of
I failed. Yeah, I mean,
because when you have it like around your passion,
right.
You kind of like live and breathe it,
right?
Then you get to be more creative.
I'll tell you, it's very embarrassing for me to share this, but when I first filed the LLC for the company, the one that failed. Like I feel excited, like ooh, I have a business my name, LLC. I've opened my first business account, right?
Yeah.
Business checkbook, ooh, business checkbook, payroll and deposit, ooh. Like complete BS. Like you could go open up. You want to make an LLC? Go pay for $500. You could open up LLC.
Look, at the end of the day, it's about how much money your business is actually making. All the fancy stuff is just like just showing off and things like that.
Right.
Eventually it hits you. It's like, yo, no money's coming in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You have to actually create a business.
Yeah.
Actually create a brand.
Before we continue, I just want to take the question by Abu Muhammad.
Yeah.
He said, question: how do you overcome the fear of putting all your eggs in one basket when it comes to opening a business or investment?
A very good question. So I think, so should you put your all your eggs in one basket? It actually is person to person. I'm honestly speaking, the rule of thumb is how much tolerant are you to failures? How much hit can you take? Like if you lost everything tomorrow, can you go back to Dunkin' Donuts? Can you go back to McDonald's and start your life over?
Right.
Are you okay with that? Because some people, they're okay with it. They're like,
well, what if eggs in one basket means a job? Because
okay.
I think like,
that's another way to look at it. I'm not sure what the question is.
Let's say if the job goes away, right? Are you okay with?
And I'll tell you, I was talking to my brother-in-law, and I was telling him, I don't think 9 to 5 is, and now I'm giving you the flip side now, right? All this time I was praising 9 to 5, but I gotta give you the other side too. 9 to 5 is not necessarily safe.
Yeah.
You're literally relying entirely on a company to, help you survive. I know people who are making, 150,000 a year. 200K. I'm telling you, 200K. And they have kids in Islamic school. They have like 3 cars, and they're going paycheck to paycheck. Because look, you make 150. For example, in New York City, 150 is nothing.
Right.
Like you lose like 50,000 in taxes, almost, or at least 30,000, and it's nothing really. I mean, it's so expensive. The houses, like in my neighborhood, a broken down house is like $1 million. It's a complete trash house. And those of you who are listening in from other parts of the country or even other parts of the world, you're like, what do you mean? I'm telling you, I can show you the house that costs $1 million in my neighborhood, and trust me, my neighborhood is a garbage neighborhood. Like it's pretty trash. But that broken down house,
from Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah, Jamaica, Queens, all the way. But I still love it. I grew up here, can't move. But my point to you is, putting an egg on basket. So even a 9 to 5 job, in this economy, people get fired so quickly. You lose everything, and you sit at home. I mean, maybe you get severance package, but some people don't get severance package, and you sit at home. And what's going to happen is,
guys, I think like again, I think what you said, like is from person to person.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of. I think the way to kind of like give yourself peace of mind,
right,
okay, is that regardless of what position you are in,
right,
okay, in life, if you lose everything in your life,
right,
you have the skill sets to bring back,
exactly,
build up, and
like, can you have a shelter on top of your head? Can you at least eat some meal every day?
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself a question: if the worst thing happens and you lose it all, are you okay with that? That's what it comes. And guess what?
Yeah.
Even if you're, like you remember the movie Doctor Strange, like he loses his ability to use his hand, and if you're a surgeon, you lose the ability to.
He put all his eggs in one basket.
One accident. Right. Now you might argue that most doctors, they have pretty good health insurance, or they get pretty good package from the hospital. They've been working for a while. I know my uncle gets a ridiculous amount of pension and so forth. But still, think about it. I mean, you literally, you don't show up to work after your vacation and sick days runs out. You're done, right? So in this economy, you want to diversify your income for sure. So I was praising 9 to 5, but at the same time, I have to be honest here. You want to make sure you diversify your income. Do your 9 to 5. Pursue your career. Get up the ladder. Become VP. Shoot for that CFO, CEO position. No problem. But make sure you're also on the side. You are, have other income sources. It's in this economy.
I think for 9 to 5 people, one of the biggest thing that you guys have is a fixed income,
right?
And and no money is necessarily like at the end of the month. You could say that like let's say your all of your expenses are like $3,000, right? And your income is like $4,000,
right?
So you can say that like, okay, I can save $1,000 every single month,
right.
Versus in business, you could take that $1,000 and invest it this way, like this place and that place and all of this stuff, And what it leads you to is like no savings in your pocket,
right?
Versus 9 to 5, okay, you're able to save a lot. And I would say like if you're able to save that money and let's say like literally like for 5-6 years, and like that money builds up to like $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 and so forth. Use that money, okay, to invest into like real estate property, or like even like some big company that's coming up and so forth.
Right.
I think that's a very, very good way of like investing your money and not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
If you're a 9 to 5 person,
right?
I think it's hard to do that in business because if you have money, you just spend all.
You have to put it. Look, in order to succeed in life, you cannot have a second plan.
Yeah.
If you have a second plan, you have a plan for failure. And I know this.
I think it's for business.
For business. No,
okay.
no, I'm about so for business.
Yeah.
So if you want to, because business requires all your energy, your effort. You got to go all in, right? And because you have to put.
I mean, also look, also like context wise as well. Like not like every single business.
Not every business. Yeah, some businesses.
But like in business, but what I'm trying to say is like when you're in business, you're more prone to spend all your money to make it work.
Right.
Versus a 9 to 5, because the money is already coming in.
Right.
You have it's much easier to save in a 9 to 5 situation.
Right.
And like when you're working a salary job versus when you're doing it in a business.
Right.
Because you could take all your money from business and like invest it into this marketing strategy, and it fails. Okay, and you're out like freaking $5,000.
Right.
And that was all your savings.
Right.
So how do you deal with that?
Right.
So yeah, for sure.
So if not putting all your eggs in one basket is stopping you from success, then and you deal with that fear. Deal with that fear by by making sure that what you're pursuing, that the basket, make sure the basket is something that you're like deadly passionate about.
Yeah.
That fear is, you're gonna feel the fear, but because you're so passionate, you're gonna do it.
No, and what if they're not passionate? I think even if they're not passionate, I think it's fine. Okay, like for example, if you're working a job and you're 100% passionate about it, I think it's impossible for every single person to work at something they're 100% passionate about. There are college students like
I think people confuse though what passion is with what.
Well, how do you define passionate?
See, you could be in a job that you're passionate about or you have some passion about, but it could still be work. Job that you're passionate about doesn't mean you go in there every day feeling really good, or that you don't have any bad days, or that some days you're not stressed. That's a really stupid way of thinking. Even if you're doing something you're really passionate about, it's work.
Right.
Like it takes work. And a lot of effort. Some days you're stressed, and that's part of life. You have to come to live life, But anyways, so that's the mindset that you want to have.
Okay, sounds good. And we're talking about like why even do business, right?
Right.
Like having the control and like things like that. I think the people that are watching right now, okay, if you have a business idea, one of the things that stops you is the fear of failure.
Yeah.
That I'm going to invest 10,000, 15,000, for an idea, and I never get that money back. I think like even for me, like when I first got started with the business, I held off my idea for more than a year. For the fear of failure, and I think that was the biggest mistake that I made.
Right.
Even if I lost like my $3-4 grand that I was initially investing,
right.
I think it would have been worth it. Than like holding back.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I think so yeah, fear of failure does stop people. So, but here's the thing: if you never try it, you'll never know what happens. Right? And
I think look, when you say like if you never try it, I think people in their head, okay, they're thinking that I am going to try it.
Right.
But it's a matter of I need to get this right, I need to get this right, I need to get.
It's never the right time. It's never the right time. To be honest, I mean, there will never be a right time.
Perfectionism is going to kill you.
Yeah. Okay.
If you think you're starting a business and you're thinking that I have to get everything right before I get started, is the wrong mindset. Right after you get started, okay, within the next 24 hours, I'm telling you, okay, your strategy, the thing that you an elaborate plan that you had thought up in your head is going to change.
Right.
Okay, 100%.
Right.
Because the situation and the place, okay, is going to make it change. Okay, you can never plan every single scenario, okay, when it comes to business.
Right.
You got to keep on doing, and like as scenarios come up, okay, you got to react to it.
I'll just say once you get started, and we'll talk about that in a bit, but once you get started, you start to find more opportunities. If you're sitting around with ideas, especially I see new people who are new to business, they are so protective of their ideas. Trust me, the whole world has ideas. Ideas are endless.
Yeah.
Everyone has ideas. Your idea, I'm telling you, it's not unique.
Yeah.
You're not special. Your idea is not unique.
Your idea might be unique.
Right. Okay? Maybe. Yeah.
It might be unique, but like just having the idea itself, you're not unique.
Yeah.
Okay. What makes people unique is
you just gotta do it.
Execution.
Okay. Once you do it,
you could have the best strategies.
Right.
Okay. For this is how I'm gonna get into.
Whether it be e-commerce,
or real estate. All this stuff, or stocks, all this stuff.
Right.
But if you don't do it, nothing's gonna happen.
Right.
Doesn't matter what kind of information that you have.
Right.
Okay. When you don't if you don't act upon the information, doesn't mean crap.
If you don't start, you're not gonna know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta start it, and that's something that I deal with a lot. And one of the best advice that I got, when I was my first business that failed. The best advice that I got was I took my idea and I wanted to put up a website first, and so I went to someone, and the best advice I got, he told me, how many customers do you have? I said none. He's like He's like, I don't care about your website.
Right.
I don't care, go make it on Google Docs, get me 5 customers, 5 people who will say,
who's gonna give you money?
Who's gonna say, I'm gonna pay up front for your service?
Yeah.
You get me that, then come talk to me, because you don't know the market.
Yeah.
Once you don't put your effort in, once you don't
everything. Listen, theory doesn't mean, and I think this is something that I learned as well from my business partner.
Right.
Because I'm a very ideas type of guy.
Right.
And
I'm extremely idea guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have a very good balance because my business partner, he's like a straight execution type of guy.
Right.
He doesn't care about strategies, learning and all of that stuff. Okay. He's more like, okay, let's just do it. Okay, right. So we have a good balance. Right. But this is something that I learned from him though, that you cannot just consume material and just turn it into ideas and ideas and ideas and never do anything with it. Nothing's gonna, as he said, if you don't have a paying customer, your fancy website, your 5-page business plan doesn't mean jack.
Right. If someone is not putting money to your idea, to your service, to your whatever you're offering,
go sell something. Okay. If you want to do business, go sell something.
Right.
If you cannot sell your idea, if you cannot monetize it, it doesn't mean anything.
It's worthless.
Yeah, it's worthless. Absolutely.
And you might realize you go into it and it completely changes.
Yeah.
The same person who gave me that advice told me, do you know so many companies? I heard that YouTube, when it first started, it was a dating video website. Right? You don't think about that about YouTube nowadays, right? YouTube has evolved.
It transformed. Okay, because look, imagine those guys sat on the idea of that dating video website for 5 years.
Right.
Okay.
Trying to make it perfect.
Exactly. YouTube would have never trying to make it perfect. YouTube would have never existed. Okay. They started with the idea. Okay, and then they evolved.
You learn. The market will teach you.
Yeah.
Market will teach you. If you're just joining us, we kindly request that you share this video. Right now, just take the few seconds and just click share, so the more people can benefit. And if you're just joining us, we are talking about, is business right for you? Right?
Yeah.
If maybe you're 9 to 5, maybe you're a student, maybe you're a pretty senior level at your company, or maybe you're just getting started, or you have an idea. Is business right for you? We are not business experts. We're not sharing your business tactics, marketing ideas. We are new in business, but we got over this, at least this hump of should we do it, not do it. We've been trying.
Yeah.
My first business failed. My second one and third one is in the works. It's still not heavily profitable. But Jawad, on the other hand, he's been doing it, grinding for the last year and a half. He's been doing pretty well on certain things. But we're gonna share with you, I think, some of the big things that hold people back, and really some things that will. So
it's really sharing our experiences, our failures, okay, the things that we learned and so forth. Yeah, for sure, guys. If you guys want to support us, please hit the like button and also share the show. But moving on, guys. Yeah. I think one of the things that we need to kind of come to terms with.
Yeah.
Is how do you look at money?
Yeah.
When we are starting a business,
right?
The number one motivation, I think, for most people is money.
That's true.
So how do you view that, first of all? Okay.
Right.
And
so again, different entrepreneurs will tell different things. I'm a basic entrepreneur. I'm a brand new business person. Maybe you have more experience in this, but I'll tell you, one thing that stopped me in my first business that failed was that I was looking at money. If you go into business for the money, I'm telling you, guaranteed it's not going to work out so well. Now, of course you go into business because you want to make big bucks. Of course, I'm not saying do that, but that's your primary motivation,
right?
And your motivation is not creating something, creating a money generator.
You're gonna listen. You're gonna. I think at the same time you can make money,
right?
But you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, okay. I'll be honest with you right now. Okay. My primary business that I'm doing right now, is profitable. But I don't like the industry that I'm in,
right?
And that's why I'm trying to look into other things that I'm more passionate about,
right?
So exactly, if you do not, like I said, you're gonna be it's person to person,
right?
Okay, so you can get started in something that you're not passionate about,
right?
But you don't do it just for the sake of money and building it and so forth. And also I think you said that passion is different,
right,
for everybody.
Yeah.
So every single day is not gonna be all glamorous and so forth.
Yeah.
It could be just that you might not.
Listen, man, we're sitting here talking about business. We're brand new business. We're not driving around Bugattis. We're not. I'm being honest with you. We're grinding, right. Literally. And I know a lot of people were very, very successful. You get other tips from them. We're sharing with you the starting tips because we're in that starting mode. All right.
Right.
But I think those of you who are sitting with your ideas, or you want to do what you've been thinking about for the last 10 years. This is for you.
Yeah.
You know, because we've been through that hump.
Yeah.
Right. But you know.
But so going back to like how do you look at money, right? So
it's very important.
So you're saying that
you know, one of the biggest thing is, look, I'll be open with you. You know, I come from a working class family. You know, my family worked hard. You know, I came to this country when I was 8 years old. You know, first few years we were living in a studio, 6 of us. You know, and thank God, you know, we came far away. My father worked very hard. And I tell you, you know, one of the biggest thing for me was that because I didn't grow up in a rich household, and I looked at money very differently. You know, there was always this thing about not enough money in the world, or like, you know, you have to hustle and beat somebody up to get money. If you know, you have to go in the mindset of prosperity.
Right.
You know, as I started having more friends and more mentors, and especially, you know, one you know, person that was my business mentor, my early business mentor, who also invested in me. I'm very thankful to him. You know, one thing I learned from him, and you know, he was fairly wealthy, is how they look at money. You know, simple thing as, you know, when you see something on the store, very quick check. When you see something in the store, right, you go, oh, you know, that's too expensive. Can I get that on sale? You know, rich people, they think of money very differently. They look at that and go, okay, how can I afford that? How can I generate enough income to get that? You look at it like, oh, it's too expensive. Can I hustle? Can I do this? Can I get that? It's a different way of looking at money. If there are enough wealth in the world. Now, you know, being wealthy and rich is two different things. You know, being poor and broke, as I think in a very famous, in a Rich Dad Poor Dad, I'm sure some of you read it. You know, you look at money very differently. So it's, you know, if you could be broke but not poor. Poor is the mindset.
Right.
Broke is you just lost your business, or you know, messed up, whatever, and you're right now zero in your bank. But but being poor is a mindset. It's a mindset that the world doesn't have enough resources. You got to fight. You got to hustle. Look, most of you watching this show, you are sitting in the first world country, in the U.S., UK, Australia, and you are sitting on a gold mine. Right? Literally, there are enough opportunities in the world.
Right.
You know, like there are a lot of opportunities in the world. So if you're going to be in business, you have to go in the mindset that there are a lot of opportunities out there. There are plenty of ways of making money. The internet, you know, it done a fabulous thing. You know, you could sit home and you could make a whole lot of money, you know. But it's about, you know, going with that mindset that, you know, there are resources in the world. So I think money, you have to think of money very differently. And also money, you don't look at, you know, especially I've seen, you know, there are poor, you know, like, you know, people who are wealthy and really successful in business, they look at money as a utility, not as one of these like precious item, like a gold, ooh, money, ooh.
It enables you to do things.
They look at money as a tool.
Right.
And listen to me very carefully. Looking at money as a tool versus looking at money as the precious item. Oh, I gotta hold
like
on.
$100 grand in the bank.
No.
Okay,
and that's why a lot of rappers are. You know, we have a friend, right? He used to do. He used to do taxes.
So we have a friend, you know, who used to do taxes for a very famous rapper. Okay?
Right.
I don't know if I say the name, he's gonna get in trouble or something.
No, let's not.
Okay, let's not do that.
Right.
But you know, he went to his bank account. He was doing his, like, you know, taxes and things like that for him. And this guy was broke.
Right.
You know, like literally broke. You know,
a lot of basketball players, after they're done with their contract, they go broke. Unless you're smart, you know, because that's people look at money as like, you know, this thing you have to hold on to, spend and get stuff. Really wealthy people, because they don't have a money problem, they look at money as a tool.
Right.
It's like it's a further tool to get to where they want to go. Whether they create,
and I think, like, you know, what Hassan was saying regarding, you know, being wealthy, you know, versus broke versus poor and things like that. Really recommend you guys pick up the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay?
I think he has a course called Choose to Be Rich. It's very interesting.
So pick up either one. Okay, just Google it. Okay, on Amazon you can find it for like $6. You know, very, very good book to read. I think probably one of the best books I read to, like, you know, kind of for me to change my mindset. Okay, regarding money.
Right. Okay, so and on the side note, since we're talking about books, if you guys are, you know, dealing with debt and things like that, Dave Ramsey, I think, on the
So also for another money guy, Dave Ramsey.
Especially for 95 people, you know, it's important.
Yeah. It's Total Money Makeover.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Dave Ramsey. Anyways, so you gotta change the way you look at money, way you look at wealth. You know, and that whole glamour idea you have of entrepreneurship. When you think entrepreneurship, you're thinking like big cars and big. It's really hustle. Now you go get there. You know, of course, you work hard, and it will come. See, you're not doing business to get that, you know, yacht. You know, like $1 million yacht. That's not. that's not what you're doing it for. You're doing it because you want to make impact in the world. You want to go into your industry and like kill it. You like to hustle. You like to build money machine that will generate income that will come by itself with other people's time, other people's money. That's what drives you.
Yeah.
Not this yacht in it. Like,
no. I mean, as like my man Gary Vee.
Yeah.
Okay, he says that he's in for the game.
Right.
He likes the process. Okay, more than the end result.
Right.
If you're just doing it for just for the sake of money and not for like for me, part of the reason I discovered I like business is because I have control over what I do with the money.
Right.
Putting a marketing strategy in place. Okay, launching a new product. Hiring somebody and things like this. These are things that I enjoy. So I like the process of doing that stuff.
Right.
Of course the money is good and everything like that. But the idea is that you have to, if you're looking to get into business, are you somebody that would enjoy that? That day to day.
It's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah, when you're operating.
Really a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
So
Would you be okay with that?
Lifestyle and life vision choice.
Yeah.
That's what it really is.
Yeah,
it's not about money. It's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah. For sure. You want to cover anything else? I mean, we've been going on kind of rambling on for some time.
If you guys have any questions, if you guys have any thoughts, especially those of you sitting with ideas, you're new to business, like us, any questions, feel free. And if you're here watching this and you're expert in business, you've been doing business for a while and you're killing it, we'd love to learn from you. So,
sure.
give us some feedback here, some tips for us, and I think we will benefit from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about execution, not theory.
Yeah.
You just got to do it, because I'm telling you, it's like a projection. You play, for example, golf or something, or any sports, right? Even tennis or basketball. How you move your hand, how you shoot, or in golf, the way you angle your just little shift. Take that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're in a whole different destination. Just the fact that whatever idea that you have, if you feel is dumb or if you feel it's not ready yet, I want you to do something with it tonight. Really, whatever idea you have, do something with it. Put up a post on Facebook, set up a quick website, using one of those template pages.
Just get started. Just get started with something.
If you have an idea, man, do something, please. Don't sit around. There's not even a good time. People like, I gotta register my company. I gotta get copyright. Relax, man.
Listen.
Just do it.
Those stuff, okay?
Right.
It's not 100% necessary in the beginning stages.
It's not at all.
Just start something. Okay, put up an offer, sell something,
and go with the mindset. The idea that you have is gonna get ruined. It's gonna get killed. You might not do anything with it. That's fine.
And be okay with that.
Be okay with that. And that actually there is a better idea that you will get in a few months after that.
Yeah.
As I
think people kind of get stuck on that. I have this one idea and this is the only one that has to be.
That's crazy.
Okay? As your life goes on, okay,
right.
a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, ideas will come, opportunities will come,
and you will connect with more entrepreneurs. You'll connect with more business people. Look, we're like 1, 2 year, 3 year in business world, right? We're brand new entrepreneurs. But as we're doing more and more,
I think the best decision that I made, okay, is getting started.
Yeah.
If I did not get started, literally, okay, look, remember I told you in the beginning of the show that I went for literally a year sitting on my idea and not doing anything with it.
Right.
And when I did get started with it, I still wasn't 100% sure.
Right.
Like I was still having doubts and everything like that. But I just got started. Everything was not perfect. Okay, but I'm so glad that I did.
Right.
And it worked out very well.
Yeah. Look.
but the thing is that when I got started, it was like I kind of had to put a faith into it. Even though I saw there was a big ditch in front of me.
Right.
Okay, I couldn't see if it's gonna be
work out or not.
If it's gonna work out or not. I still got started.
Right.
And if it failed, okay, I think even then, I would have been okay with it.
They say that a life that that's life not examined is not a worth it life. Life not where life look, everyone will have, if you want just a regular life, everyone has it. Plenty of people had it, a million people had it. But if you try something new and if you fail and you live life like that, I think that was a better life.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a better life because you do something different.
Right.
Think about it. Whether how successful you are in your career, right? There was someone that did that, and that path is known, right? Making money, vacation, family, that path is known. Doing something different, trying something new, even if it fails, that life was good.
Yeah.
Even if you end up living life, very poor, very broke. Let me correct myself. Not very poor, very broke, because you're not poor in your mind. Very broke. That still was a good life for me.
Yeah.
For me, that's how I look at it. That was still a good life because I tried something different.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So you want to just get started. As you get started, more ideas will come. And I think that
I think, but to balance that out though.
Right.
Okay. Just remember to take care of your basic needs.
That's true.
So like things like shelter, food. For your yourself
especially
and your family.
If you have kids and family, you gotta make sure that you're not jeopardizing.
And I think like a good way to if you really want to get started and like you have to take a little bit risk, a good way to kind of balance it out is save up for 6 months. Okay, so let's say your monthly expenses are bring it down to as very very little as possible. So let's say it's $2,000. So 6 times 2, that's $12,000. Save up for $12,000, and then you say that, okay, you know what, I can kind of like get started with this and not worry about even if it fails, okay, I kind of have the savings that's going to back me up.
I'll give you another look at it. I would say, divide your income, whatever check you get every month, but they, divide it into a few portions. One, 10% donation, okay, and then take, I would say, 50%, and that's your, your expenses, your whatever. Live within that 50%, and 40% start to save that up for investing.
Right.
Have some solid. Look, small, little by little by little, it builds up, man. It builds up.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
And look, you have to force yourself to cut down, and save that up. And that also goes about your time. If you're just sitting idea like I'm very busy, my work is so crazy, half an hour a day. Can you do half an hour a day?
Bro, listen, if you want to find the time, you can find the time. Trust
half
me.
an hour.
Finding the time.
Half an hour. Okay, come home. You feel tired. Watch a show. You got spend time with family. No problem. You're involved in the community. Very good. No problem. Half an hour. That's what I'm asking you. Every night, half an hour. Do something with your business.
Yeah.
You take half an hour. How much is that in a week?
That's 3.5 hours right there.
That's great. In a month, that's like 15 hours.
Yeah.
That's 15 hours.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
That happens.
Guys, the point is so number one, you kind of have to look at the risks that are involved with starting a business. Like, if your finances just go like, out of, you have nothing left in your pocket, like what kind of position is going to put you and your family? So have the savings, like, for that. But at the same time, see what you can do with your capacity right now. Right now, like, my man Gary Vee, he gives out a 2017 flip challenge, to his viewers. It's literally like, find things inside your house, okay? Find things inside, your neighbor's house, inside your relative's house, and tell them, hey, listen, I'll sell this for you on eBay.
You're telling me you did do something with your brother?
Yeah. So I'll get to that.
Right.
But the idea of that thing is that do what is possible within your means.
Half an hour every night, man. If you're watching,
not even half an hour. You just like whatever time you have, man.
Right.
If you just get started with something, within your capacity, that'll put you in a different mindset.
Right. I don't care you're in college. I don't care you're in high school. I think you helped the high school kid get started, right?
I'm trying to figure. Yes. So in my local community, okay, there are like young people who I speak to, and they're interested in business, and I tell them like, listen, I'll give you, for example, Shopify is like a great way to like, kind of get your feet wet.
Yeah, we're not promoting e-commerce. Like, look, one of those gimmicks, but
we're not selling anything.
This is a Life Buildup Show. Right. We focus on all topics. So,
but I want to give the example that this kid, he's like literally like 14 years old. But he takes the material, okay, and he takes action. He doesn't sit on it.
Right.
He acts on it. Right. And as a 14-year-old, okay, he got a head start in life.
Right.
The things that he's learning.
Even if he fails, makes no money, man, he's on top of the game.
He's 14 years old.
He's ahead. Yeah.
He's 14 years old. And like, so one of the things that I'm trying to implement in my little brother is, recently, like, so whenever I'm reading like, some kind of business book or anything like that, he's a big reader, so, he reads like actually, he's 8 years old.
8 years
I'm sorry,
old.
9 years old.
9
years old now.
Yeah.
So, he's like a fast reader, okay?
Right,
he reads the page before I'm like halfway through the page.
Right.
He's like done reading the page.
Right.
But he's very good.
Right.
But anyways, like he was reading like these business books and everything like that. So I'm like, okay, how do I take this information now and help him act on it?
Right.
So what I did literally last week was I took him to Rite Aid,
right,
and I gave him $5 budget,
right,
and I told him that you can buy any candy you want,
right,
and you're gonna sell it. Okay, and he actually got a buyer.
You gotta buy.
Yeah. Okay. So he sold one of his candy. We were coming up the elevator, and there was a guy like getting off, and then I told him like why don't you offer him the candy?
Right.
So I asked him the question first, like, hey, would you like to buy a candy from little brother?
Right.
But he got a sale.
Right.
He got $1.
Right.
He made some profits.
Right. Right.
And he got so happy.
Right.
Once you get that first $1, you get excited.
Right.
But the idea is that the things that he was learning, things that he was consuming from the book, things that I was telling him, he wasn't just like consuming it for the sake of consuming it.
Right.
He was acting on it.
Right.
He was executing.
Right.
He went to write it. He got the merchandise.
Right.
And he sold the merchandise even when he's 9 years old.
Right.
And I think like kids who grow up around business parents are like extremely lucky.
Right.
It teaches them ownership and
it does.
Teaches them to take care of themselves.
Right.
Because it really teaches so many different
them
skills.
look at money differently.
Yeah.
People who grew up in a non-business environment, they look at money like as a hustle.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to hold on to it. You have to find sales.
Right.
It's just there's not enough money in the world. You got to fight for it. Who's on top? I mean, it's just like there's enough resources in the world.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking, so really, what we want to really as time trickles away, what we want to really tell you here is that take read, if consume information. This show, this half an hour, re-listen to it if you need to. There are plenty of other podcasts. There are books. Get yourself in the zone.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
and take the information and act on it.
Act on it. Yeah.
Don't just be 100% consumer. I think that's a big problem. That's that they're in the entrepreneur community.
Right.
Is everybody just consumes books, seminars, classes, one after one.
Right.
But doesn't do anything with the information. It only becomes like entertainment.
Right.
Take the information and act on it.
Get a mentor.
Yeah.
By mentor, I mean one of the best advice I got that helped me was that he said find someone that's doing business, whether it be a friend, cousin, whether it be someone that reach out to somebody and tell them, look, you work 9 to 5, you're a student, whatever, or you're a senior level at your job. You find someone who's doing business and killing it, and you just go to them and say, look, I want to work for you for free. I want to be your assistant for free. For free.
Especially if you're young.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in high school, college.
Find those business people.
This
work for free.
This is one of the best advice, he can give you.
Right.
We can give you.
Right.
Find somebody and just learn. Learn from them. Help them with the execution. Help them with their business.
Right.
That's going to give you tremendous experience. When starting.
And just being around them will change your mindset.
Yeah. For
right.
Sure.
And on the first, the person that I consider my business mentor, early age, I showed up to his house I think 1 minute late. He told me that being on time, you're late.
Right.
If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, as a college student, I learned a lot. And so you gotta find business mentors, people who are doing business, or there be at small level.
And look, if you guys can't find anybody, literally go on meetup.com. I'm sure if you go to your local community center, you guys can find people.
Right. In your network, there are people.
Yeah, literally
you don't have to find the
Facebook groups. Okay,
right.
Listen, one of the best thing you can do, literally after you're done watching this video,
right.
Okay, go on Facebook and type in I don't know, online e-commerce, real estate, whatever you're interested in, entrepreneur group, and you'll see, there are hundreds of groups, that are there, and you just reading through the posts and things like that is gonna put you in that mindset. Get you hyped up and to get started and so forth, for sure.
So we wish you, a awesome, active. We wish you really. We hope that. We want to hear that after this episode you did it, you killed it, you took an action, and you let us know on Life Buildup page or or
private messages things like that,
and we'd love to hear that what action you took and what it did for you. And we wish you best of luck. Wish us best of luck as we are pursuing in our small businesses.
And guys, I want it's still in the development, but on. I believe the 2nd of January, or the first week of January, or the 2nd week of January, we're gonna have Omar Usman, on the show.
Right.
He has a lot of experience in in marketing and
nice.
Starting businesses and so forth. So we're gonna have.
So you heard that we're gonna start to have guests on the show.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Jawad and I, we're gonna really dive into where our guest is, into their psyche, and get as much gem that we can pull out.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so look forward to the guy. I'm going to give you guys more information. Okay, as the
we have a few more lined up as well, correct?
Yeah.
And we'll let you guys know as it comes up.
For sure. So guys, for now, just before we go, you can check on if you're watching us on your mobile device, then you can see that you can turn off the notification whenever we go live.
Yeah.
As you guys know, we have the show every Monday night at 10 p.m. I hope you guys can join us every Monday night. And
thank you so much
for providing value for you guys.
For making us part of your life. And we hope we can dedicate this hour. So you Monday night you in the night having whoa, what is that?
I had to do that before we
Star Wars. I don't want to advertise.
all right. Let me turn this up.
Okay, so anyway,
last week I turned to Heisenberg, so this week I had to do something different.
So, anyways, guys, good night. Share the show. Join us on Life Buildup, and please, send this video if you benefit in any way. Someone in your life, someone that you care about that would benefit from this. Send it to them.
Yeah, for sure.
I want you to send this audio to them. And we are on iTunes.
Yeah.
We are on iTunes.
You guys can look up, just go on iTunes, look up Life Buildup.
And,
I hope you guys can.
And an episode also on YouTube, correct?
Yeah, so you can look us up on YouTube as well. But I specifically recommend iTunes because whenever you guys are going to school, going to work,
driving,
commute,
on the
workouts,
train, whatever, working out,
join us at that time. We can be in your ears. So
and keep on honing that into your system.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. This is gonna be it for us. Let me see.
Down there. Yeah.
There we go. All right. Anything else? Last words?
I think. Do you have any other comments?
Let me see. Let me just see if we can take any comments, and then we'll end it off the night. Hold on.
Last comments. Let's take a look, and we will end the night.
Okay. Okay. So successful people pay themselves first, and ordinary or average people pay their bill first.
Mm-hmm. Investing in yourself. That's true. Look, people live their life paying bills. This goes into the how you look at money. You just look as if you live your life to pay bills. But why do you go to work? To pay bills.
Right.
What do you mean pay bills? What does that even mean?
Right.
You just the way you look at money is like this pain that you have to do. Look at money as a tool to do things, tool to get things done, tool to have experiences and fun with your family and friends.
Yeah.
Look at it as a tool and build the tool.
Yeah.
Whether it be through 9 to 5, whether it be through whatever else, build the tool. Yeah.
That's it. Okay, I think we'll end up the show for tonight.
Right.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Just before we go, if you guys could, I think Imanor just joined us. Bro, you're let me see, you're an hour and a half late.
Well, we're glad you joined us. You can rewind and listen to it.
Yeah. But guys, join us next Monday night at 10 p.m. But for now, okay, good night.
Share the show. Good night.
All right.